Welcome, Baltimore sports fans, to another action-packed edition of the Birdtown Sports Hour. I'm Evan Machado alongside Brent Moreland.
Hello.
We got an action-packed weekend for you in the NFL, getting down to the wire here with, after this week, only 2 games left around the NFL. Got to talk about a little bit of the Maryland Terps played this weekend. We'll get into our That's What He Said, our locks of the week, looking forward into the NFL, and a little bit about the Major League Baseball trade wire and what else is going on with that. How was your weekend, Brent?
Pretty good. Enjoyed my last weekend of being 24 before I turned 25 and turned into an old, crusty old man. Not that I'm not one already.
Yeah, Brent can now officially rent a car as of tomorrow. So we'll have
Yes.
the happy birthday, Brent edition of the podcast.
Oh.
So, what are your plans? Big plans tomorrow, I hear you have?
Yeah, I plan on sitting in a gymnasium for 3 hours watching my sister walk across stage to get her diploma. Should
Doesn't
be
get much
fun.
better than that.
Should be
Doesn't get
fun.
much better than that. All right. Let's talk a little bit about the Ravens game. Playing a very bad Jacksonville Jaguars team.
Shoo!
Did what we needed to do.
What a game.
Not like many other years where we always tend to lose at least one game to a bad team. We're beating the teams you should beat the Jaguars.
Hey, don't speak too soon. I finally got it
Yeah,
out.
at least the rest of the teams, at least if you lose, it's not a
That's
horrendous
true.
loss.
That's 2 games at the
But uh,
What you said on Thursday was definitely right about
what did I say?
I think you said this is a potential trap game, and
Yeah,
I responded with saying that if we were on the road, yes, but
yeah.
since we're at home, no. If this game was in Jacksonville, they would have definitely lost today.
All
They
right,
were so flat.
they were. They came out flat to begin with. It was hard, and it was weird because the offense really didn't get a chance in the first quarter. I mean, with the onside kick and
Couldn't get no rhythm, yeah.
yeah, and the punt block for a touchdown, which was good for our part, but our offense still didn't get on the field. Let's go through some stats very quickly. For the Ravens, Flacco went 20 for 30, 221, touchdown, no interceptions. Quarterback rating of 100 actually, which
Yeah,
is
he played actually pretty good against a sneaky good defensive secondary for the Jags.
and I mean, and Brent will admit I tend to back Joe Flacco a lot, but there was a lot of drop passes. Crockett Gilmore dropped two, Daniels dropped one, Torrey Smith dropped one across the middle for about 25, 26 yards. So he didn't really have much help in the passing game, and alongside with that, let's segue to the rushing. Four set, 16 rushes, 48 yards, averaged 3 a carry. His long was
Couldn't get
6.
him going.
No,
Surprising. Gets a bad run defense.
yeah, he couldn't. And I mean, Pierce went 6 for 37, so he averaged twice as many yards as Forsett, but that's a small sample size. Flacco actually had 4 rushes for 8 yards. But overall, our rushing game, I mean, you would have thought against their rush and their front seven, which is not that great of front seven, they have a better secondary than front seven. You would have thought a rush game would get on, running game would get much better than that, but really never
Yeah.
had a chance to get hot, do much effort. But
You know,
uh,
I'm wrong a lot with a lot of things, but I will brag a little bit about calling a good game from Marlon Brown today. He had 5 for 66. That was a nice step up for him. You know, Kamar Aiken's a good young player, but I think he's being a little bit overblown by the fantasy football dorks and dweebs. And I think at this point, Marlon Brown's just a little bit better at wide receiver, and it was nice to see him step up when Torrey Smith is hurt.
it was Marlon Brown, just like you said. Uh, the
Oh,
team
and
leader,
Daniels in this game.
yeah, the team leader is Marlon Brown in receptions, 5 for 66, averaging 13 a carry, 5 targets. So he was targeted 5 times, had caught each of those 5 targets. Daniels was targeted 9 times, four receptions for 62 yards and a touchdown. Steve Smith just below that. Crockett Gilmore had a decent game actually for his standards. 2 catches for 37 yards, as we mentioned, 2 drops, which hurt along the side. But when you look into somebody like Torrey Smith, who last week, he was hurt. He was more of a decoy than anything else. Didn't really have much going on. As you said, he dropped the ball. Juszczyk with the uh, with the fumble. So in the passing game, we talked about it earlier. Like you said, a lot of drops. Didn't really have much going for us. We had that one drive, if you recall that one drive where we went down the field almost like surgery. Had a couple play actions, some good fakes, which is never one of Flacco's forte. Never really sells his fakes, but the one that ended up with Owen Daniels' touchdown, and one before that was the deep pass to Owen Daniels on the play action left bootleg to the right. I think that was probably the drive that sealed this game up, as far as I'm concerned. But what else did you take out of this game, at least on the offensive side, before we get defensively?
Nothing really, just win. This is a good thing NFL there's no style points. Got the win, move on to next week.
Yeah, I think the thing that hurts us really is the special teams this week. The punt block, the fake punt that or no, the punt block was on us, but the uh the fake punt that we had that they scored on. There was just a lot going on special teams. It was very frustrating, at least as far as
Yeah, I mean they're a
special
team that
teams
really
go.
doesn't have anything to play for, so they're running more fluky plays. But
Yeah, I mean
special teams
that's
definitely
par for the
needs
course.
to special teams needs to improve. Tucker's usually doesn't miss field goals, but all in all, got the win. That's all that matters, and we're looking good for the playoffs. As I knock on wood.
Yep. I mean, we did what we needed to do. 9-5 as of now. The season ends today, which is one of the worst cliches in the NFL. Season ends today. We are in the playoffs. Got a
Yeah.
game next week. Going on the road, probably the hardest game left in the schedule is
Really,
Houston on the road, and then come home to face Johnny Manziel.
good news is we'll be playing a rookie quarterback, so that
Yep.
game just got a lot easier.
Fitzpatrick broke
Although,
his leg.
although I am scared of what J.J. Watt can do to Eugene Monroe, who's been playing with his head up his ass all year.
Yep. Yeah. We'll see how that goes. I mean, we'll have time on Thursday to dissect that game. A lot of variables left in the course of the season, but all in all, big win, 9-5. Offense played well. Defense did what they needed to do. That's really all we can say about this game. Not a lot of style points, as Brent said.
Well,
But
actually, I just got a little kind of breaking news. Tom Savage looks like he's going to need an MRI. So if he can't go, we'll be facing Thaddeus Lewis next week. So I don't know if it's going to make too big a difference either one we face, but it's going to be our defensive line after a 7.5 sack game this week is going to be licking their lips for next week for sure.
is that he played for the Browns before?
Bills, Bills
Bills before.
from Duke.
Okay, you're right. All right, so we'll dissect that game on Thursday. Two games left in the schedule. Let's move around the NFL now. Arizona going to St. Louis. Arizona won that game 12-6. That game was on Thursday night, right after our last podcast. The battle of the field goals. If you're going by field goals, Arizona won 4-2. 4 field goals, 2 field goals. Uh, really not much to talk about with that game, unless you have
Yeah,
anything.
snooze fest. I mean, we could talk about Drew Stanton being out for the rest of the regular season,
Yeah,
which is just tough luck for this Arizona team. You have to give Coach of the Year to Bruce Arians for what he's doing. Their
and
their best running back, their best quarterback, now their second best quarterback are all out. They're one of their best defensive linemen. Darnell Dockett hasn't played a single down all year. You had John Abraham getting DUIs from the strip club in the middle of the day during preseason and then retiring. They've just gone through a lot with that team, and for them to be, I think they're what are they, 11-3 or 11-4?
11-3. Season ends
11-3.
today. They have a first round bye.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to end up being Seattle. Seattle's playing a little bit better right now, and with Lindley, I don't even know who the hell he is. At quarterback, you can't feel good about their chances to win any of their final two games. But 11 wins, looks like they're all but going to be in the playoffs. So good on them.
Yep. I mean, they've guaranteed the playoffs, so that the end of the playoffs, as many professionals have said, it looks like it's going to be tough for them, but they've made it. And once you get in, that's the hardest part. After that, it's all up for grabs. So moving forward, Oakland went to Kansas City in the battle for AFC West. Not for the division, but two AFC West teams. Kansas City did what they needed to do and did it easily, beating Oakland at home 31-13. What did you come out of this game seeing?
Kansas City, they got off to a three-game losing streak with this one, but it might be a little too late for them. They are 8-6. They just got to hope someone in front of them kind of screws up and they can win out and maybe get in the playoffs. But they are a sneaky team, just kind of sitting there hoping, wishing, waiting. Alex Smith had a pretty decent game, throwing for 300 yards, 2 TDs. But I mean, they beat a team they should beat. There's nothing
Yep.
really to talk about too
Which they
much.
didn't do 3 weeks ago when they played them.
Yeah.
Agree. Yeah, 8-6 in AFC right now doesn't look like it's going to cut it, or the NFC for that matter. They would need a lot. They need to win out, obviously, and they need a lot of help. So if it goes anywhere towards normal, looks like Kansas City and Andy Reid will be on the outside looking in come January. A game that affected the Ravens. Pittsburgh went to Atlanta. Pittsburgh beat Atlanta 27-20.
Yeah.
Uh, this is a tough game to watch, to be honest with you. There was a lot of unpredictables. Le'Veon Bell did what he needed to do, scored twice.
He
Um,
actually kind of got shut down on the running game, but we've seen that
he always
from
does.
him this year.
Yeah. No Julio Jones. Harry Douglas stepped up. Didn't find pay dirt, but he uh, he caught a lot of passes, got a lot of yards. Matt Ryan
Yep.
played okay. Um, Other than that, Pittsburgh they won. They are just like the Ravens, 9-5. If the season ends today, they're the fifth seed. The Ravens is the sixth seed. So they still have the Bengals coming up. So that will be a big. They play them
Yeah.
next week, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be a big game as far as the AFC North goes. If you're the Ravens, I don't know if you'd want to. If you'd want because if the Steelers win, they become the one seed, and or they become the AFC North leader. So it's tough if you're a Ravens fan who you root for in that
At this
situation.
point, I don't care. I just want the Ravens to make the playoffs. I get what you're
Yeah.
saying, but at this point, those two teams really aren't any different. For me,
Well, you want,
I'd probably rather play the Bengals at this point, just because what Ben could do to our secondary right now would just be rated R. Like that's not something you would want to see.
yeah, I'm still holding hope to make a win the division and get a first round home game, but that will take some help. But
A
we
lot of
can
help.
call our
Yeah.
destiny for the playoffs. Get it, just win and we're in. Win the next two games
Yep.
against opponents that probably not as good as the Ravens. Two games we probably should win. Win them both, we're in. Lose one of the two, probably out. So
Yeah.
speaking of an opponent we're about to play next week, Houston goes to Indy. Indy wins that game 17-10. This Andrew Luck started out very slow. Um,
He got held
he,
in check today pretty well, actually.
yeah, he did. I mean, they're playing against a good Houston defense, but
Yeah.
no rushing game. Moncrief got held without a catch. Uh, this is a game that not a whole lot went on. A slow game, hard game to watch, but Indy did what they needed to do and won. Looking forward into the playoffs. What do you think out of them going forward?
I don't know. I really don't know what to expect. I think Andrew Luck's still a little bit too erratic with his turnovers to really take them to go into New England or into Denver to win. The running game is kind of in shambles. They need to get Ahmad Bradshaw back. Herron's a good little player, but I don't know about him being a number one running back in this league.
Yeah.
But Andrew Luck's going to be one of the best, probably be the best quarterback in the league 5 years from now. But right now, he still turns the ball over just a little bit too much to make a deep run, in my opinion.
Yeah. Only time will tell as far as Andrew Luck goes when he goes in the playoffs and, like you said, into teams like New England and Denver, stuff like that. Moving forward into the Manziel Bowl, Cincinnati
Oh
goes into
yeah, what a
Cleveland.
game!
This was
What a
one of my
game!
locks of the week that proved to be just a genius. Um, yeah, Cincinnati won into Cleveland, won 30-0. Uh, what did you see out of Manziel? I know it's too early to tell as far as his career goes, and people are going to have their overreaction Monday, but Cincinnati they won 30-0 handily. Not much more to tell about this game, but what did you see out of Manziel?
What did I see? I saw 10 out of 18 for 80 yards and two picks. I saw a midget that Marvin Lewis didn't have to really game plan for. That was an embarrassing effort. Their season's done. They can't get anything out of the quarterback position. They can't pick which running back they want to run with. Let's just hope that Johnny keeps playing like that when they come to Baltimore, because hey, 10 out of 18 against the Ravens won't do much either.
Yep, I agree. This will be their fourth straight week without a passing touchdown. So that's actually mind blowing to be honest with you.
That's
Let's go
crazy.
now to probably the best team in the AFC. New England welcomed the Miami Dolphins to town. New England did so with a 41-13 overwhelming victory. Uh, Tom Brady was Tom Brady in December. Pretty cut and dry as far as that goes. Gronkowski scored a touchdown. Julian Edelman scored a touchdown. LeGarrette Blount playing well, coming over from the Steelers. Had an overwhelming 41-13 victory. Do you see the Patriots right now as the team to beat in the AFC?
I was just getting ready to say at this point, I don't think I'd be shocked if they did not win the Super Bowl. I really would. They're just so good. I mean, Bill Belichick benches Jonas Gray for 2 weeks, and then he comes out today against a good Miami defense and carries the ball 11 times for 62 yards. Brady didn't even have that great of a game, but the Dolphins have a really good secondary, really good defense, and then they got Gronk loose, they got Edelman loose. Their defense, they got Chandler Jones back today. They're just so good. They're definitely the most complete team of football. There's no question about it, in my
They
opinion.
are. I mean, it's just such a well-coached team. As much as you can hate Bill Belichick or Tom Brady, it's so knowledgeable that group, those two, and they push all the right buttons, like you said, benching Jonas Gray, getting him pissed off, so to speak, and comes back and does well. But Garrett Blunt, then you got Revis Island on the defensive side.
Brandon Browner's playing well too.
He is playing very well coming over from Seattle. It looks like they are the team to beat. They're probably the most well-rounded team, better defense than the Broncos. Um, but overall, I think they're probably the best team to beat. So, moving to the NFC side, Tampa Bay going to Carolina. Carolina winning 19-17 and pretty not so great a game. Derek Anderson started for the Panthers without.
Hey, don't you dare talk bad about a division-leading team, okay?
Yeah, that's sad. That's absolutely sad.
Derek Anderson 2-0 this year as a starting quarterback. You better give him his props, man.
Former
Only
Raven.
quarterback in the league this year not to lose.
Former Raven.
All right. Yeah, he actually did kind of play well, but it was against the Bucks. I mean,
Yeah.
Greg Olsen and Kelvin Benjamin combined for 18 catches for 214 yards. It's a pretty damn good 1-2 combo they got going on. I mean, the Bucks, they need a quarterback. They're going to get one. They're either going to get Mariota or Winston. They got some good pieces of wide receiver. Doug Martin could be good if he ever stayed healthy at running back. Um, but it'd be crazy if the Panthers won the division. I think that would be really cool. I think it would be really funny, actually.
And they have a home game. They'd welcome probably an 11-win Seahawks team or an 11-win Cardinals
The
team.
crazy thing is, an 11-win Cardinals team going to Carolina, the Cardinals might not be favored to win that game.
It'd be two bad teams. It would be maybe the worst matchup ever
Now
of
the
a
Cardinals,
playoff team.
now the Cardinals defense is still elite and still one of the top 3 or 4 or 5 best defenses in the league. But going cross country, playing probably a 1 o'clock game, the playoffs, I don't know, but I'd still pick them to win. But it's still a crazy thought.
Yeah, that is true. Moving forward, a game that I guess not much to talk about other than the fact RG3 kind of showed up today. Giants beating Skins
Yeah.
24-13 in the Meadowlands. RG3
Is
did play
Odell
well.
Beckham is Odell Beckham a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL right now?
If you have to redraft right now based on age, I draft him top 5. I mean, if you're trying to throw to one receiver right now to catch a touchdown for you to win the Super Bowl,
Still,
I'd have him top 10. I don't know about top 5, but yeah,
yeah,
top
there's
10.
there's still like in like the I think it's Calvin 1 and then like 2 to 8 it's like all jumbled up. But I'd definitely take him over someone like Jordy Nelson. I'd take him over Julio right now, even though Julio just had an incredible 2 game stretch. You know, probably take Antonio Brown and Demaryius Thomas over him, but
Mm,
those 3 are probably the only 3 I would take over him right now. He had 12 catches, 143 yards, 3 TDs.
I
Now,
think I'd still take AJ Green over him. That's just my humble opinion. I
uh,
think I'd still take AJ Green over him.
I think that's close for me.
And
But
Marlon Brown probably too.
yeah, I mean the Skins secondary, I could probably go out there and catch 5 balls for 100 yards. But
Yeah.
the Skins are definitely a mess. Eli, pretty nice game. Yeah, RG3 did play well. He kind of got jobbed on a rushing touchdown. I don't know if you saw it, but
Yeah, I saw it.
he ran and then Santana Moss ran onto the field and got ejected for yelling at the officials. I don't know how Santana Moss is still on that team. He's been inactive all year. He's just, I guess, a guy to.
He's a clown.
He's not a clown. He's been a good player, but he he got ejected. Skins are just a mess. Worst organization in the NFL, probably all the sports in my opinion. But enough about that game.
All right. Green Bay. You called this actually on Thursday. Green Bay won
I
in
did.
Buffalo. They lost by 8, 21-13. Aaron Rodgers, he didn't play well. He didn't get help from his receivers. Overall, I mean, and to be honest, the Bills didn't look like a great team in this either. And if you're gonna upset a Packers team, you think that whoever did that would just come out on fire. And the Bills
Seven
really didn't do
drops.
that. Yeah,
7 drops. They had 13 coming into the
Packers
game
beat
all
themselves.
year.
Yeah,
I wouldn't go that far. Some of it is on the defense. Not every drop is just a drop because calls on a receiver. I know statistics can lie a little bit, but Jordy Nelson dropped a 94-yard touchdown pass. He could have crawled into the end zone if he just would have caught it.
yep.
Just took his eye off the ball. I mean, you won't see Jordy Nelson do that again ever probably. Um, but yeah, it's a game that I felt good about Buffalo winning. Green Bay, this is a really good letdown spot, and they were going into Buffalo, who in their minds they still have a chance of making the playoffs. I don't know if they're 7-7 or 8-6. I think they're 8-6 now, but I can actually look that up right here. But they
They're 8-6.
8-6, yeah. So they still have an outside shot to win that game. It's just a good letdown spot. And that defense is just incredible. They get their front 7 is just ridiculous, and they have a pretty solid secondary too. If they had a quarterback, they're kind of like the Texans in my opinion. If they had a
Yeah.
quarterback, they'd be a scary team, but they don't. Kyle Orton isn't good. I mean, they don't really have a running back either. Fred Jackson's just hurt. He's not a
Yeah.
feature back anymore. CJ
No, he's
Spiller,
not. He's old. Yeah.
CJ Spiller has shown he could be like flashes of being a feature back, but he can't stay healthy and he can't do it
Mhm.
consistently. I mean, Booby Dixon and Bryce Brown are third and fourth string caliber guys for a
Yep.
reason. But nice win for them, definitely.
Uh-huh. Moving forward, Vikings at Detroit. Detroit held the Vikings off barely. What was it? Blair Walsh ended with a 69-yard field goal attempt.
Really?
Yeah, they gave them a chance. They got to
68 yarder. Yeah, they won.
they got to the 50-yard line, and with 4 seconds left, they figured they were only down by two. I guess going for a long field goal was probably still better odds than a Hail Mary
It's
attempt.
oh no, it's not inside anymore. That's right. Oh
Yeah,
no, it
they.
was at Detroit. You're right. Yeah,
I
it
told you
was.
to Detroit earlier.
Yeah, they won 16-14. Kind of an
Yeah, it was
ugly game.
attempt. The Vikings, sneaky good team.
Yep.
Detroit did what they needed to do and won, so they're still on the inside for
They lead
playoff
the
chase.
division now, actually.
Not looking pretty. Talk about stop points. The past 4 or 5 weeks have not looked good doing it, but they won. They won. Golden Tate had a
Division leaders.
reception. Yep. Uh,
Calvin got held in check, only 453. Stafford only threw for 150 yards, was kind of surprising.
mhm.
But they seemed like they had some success with Joyke Bell. He averaged 4 yards a carry. They just only gave him the ball 15 times. But yeah, Minnesota's a sneaky good little team. I'm a bigger fan of Teddy Bridgewater than most. I think he could be a pretty good quarterback in the league. He threw for over 300 yards against one of the better defenses in the league today. I mean, it's impressive. But Detroit, they're a better team. They hung on to win.
Yep. We're gonna skip the Jets Titans game. Just
No, you don't want
game.
to talk about the best game of the year? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, this is what a game this was. And
Hey,
if you watch this, let me tell you this: if you watch this game and you don't live inside Tennessee or New York borders, or you didn't have over $50 on this game, shame, absolutely shame on you for watching this game.
off
Unless
the
you
top of
had
your
three
head,
of those things happen.
guess how many interceptions were thrown in this game?
Zero.
Yep.
Who would have thought that? I looked that up for that's what he said. That's the only reason I. No,
Eric
I would
Decker,
have
though.
thought if the game ended like it was 11-10 at one point. What a game! 11-10.
Yeah, the Jets
High
screwed up
scoring
their
baseball game.
suck for duck campaign. Winning doesn't look like they're going to be able to get Marcus Mariota now with the number one pick, but Eric Decker in a nice game. He's a good receiver, but that's really all you can say about this
Is
game.
Mariota the number one overall pick? That's I guess
Oh yeah,
we'll talk about that at a future time.
yeah.
If I'm building around a team and all necessities so to speak aside, not needing a quarterback over receiver, whatnot,
Of
I'm
course
going
you.
Amari Cooper
Oh,
over
of course,
Marcus Mariota.
but the reasons that these teams are drafting in the top five is because they don't have a quarterback.
Or they drafted a quarterback last year and he's not doing well, just like the Jaguars or
I could see the Jaguars taking Amari Cooper, or who's the team like the Titans. I could see them taking Amari Cooper if they still have faith in Zach Mettenberger. But someone like the Bucks or the Jets, they're going to take a quarterback.
but that's
The Skins will probably go offensive line, but you never know with that train wreck. They could go quarterback too. The Raiders, look at the Raiders. I can promise you, if the Raiders are number one, I'd actually wager they take Amari Cooper.
yeah.
That actually makes a lot of sense. Amari Cooper would probably go to the Raiders. They
They
have a
love
lot of faith in Derek Carr. What's that?
I mean, the Raiders love that kind of style, but I'm on the opposite side of that as far as if you need a quarterback drafting first overall or top five, because you see so many times that bust. I think you build around your team and get better offensive line, better receivers, better position players.
Yeah,
better
but if there's a guy
defense.
there,
But that's
that
what
that
that's what Titans thought. Jake Locker. That's what I mean. That
no, I
happened
mean
so many times.
Jake Locker's a
Brandon
top 15
Weeden.
pick.
Brandon,
These aren't top five picks. I'm talking top five pick, the true talents of the draft, where a Mariota and Winston that are these scouts are all grading as the
EJ
top talent.
Manuel.
He was a guy who snuck into the first round, whose college coach told them that they would be
Yeah.
wasting a draft pick.
Jimbo.
I'm not talking about these teams that are going to trade into the first round and draft a guy like a Connor Cook or a Brett Hundley at 15 or 17 overall. I'm talking about the
The
truly terrible
surefires.
teams.
Okay.
I'm talking about the truly terrible teams where you go after Mariota or Winston, who are the guys that are the elite of the elite talents, and they want a face of the franchise. They got to part of those things for these teams that are so bad too is they got to sell a lot of hope to the fans. If you
Yeah.
draft a Marcus Mariota or Jameis Winston, you're going to sell a lot of tickets just solely off of that. Especially like a team like Tampa Bay, if they were to draft a Jameis Winston, they can you imagine their profits increasing so much?
And I agree with you as far as if you're not the top five, but I'm almost on the perspective of well, like what the Seahawks did or the 49ers do, where you draft a quarterback 2 through 4, maybe something along those lines, and you go and you power up and give that quarterback better
Agreed.
intangibles, better
It's
line.
all situational though. Like
Yeah, it is.
the Skins, if the Skins draft a quarterback, they'll be doomed. I don't care because they have nothing on the offensive line. They have so many holes.
Mm-hmm.
They're a team
Yeah,
that needs to build around and then get your
yeah.
quarterback. But someone like the Bucks who has some good wide receivers, or maybe the Jets, they have some good wide receivers and a couple guys on the offensive line, they can plug in one of those young studs and maybe something will happen.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's how it goes. And you look at you want to build around it. And maybe the Redskins, you put in somebody like Colt McCoy for the next 2 3 years, and while that happens, then you build around.
Right.
By that time, you get somebody else, and that's probably what's going to happen. But uh, let's move on. I can't believe we just talked on a segue about the Jets and Titans for 7 minutes. Um, Denver, San Diego. Denver won, helped the Ravens out by winning. Out of this game, it looked like Peyton Manning was going to return at halftime. He did.
What was it? He had
Nothing
the
flashy
flu, I think.
stats wise.
I think they said he had the flu.
He had the flu in the thigh. They called it, but I think more so the flu, and they didn't want him to look like a baby. But he came back out, finished the game. Stats didn't look great. Threw a touchdown
Nice
to
game for
Demaryius
Demaryius
Thomas.
Thomas. Yeah, nice game for him.
C.J. Anderson, they gave him the ball a lot. He did okay. I think middle of the pack. Rushed for like
Yeah.
95 yards,
No,
but he had a lot of rushes.
29 for 85, average 2.9 a carry. But he's a guy. C.J. Anderson, I think the hype is being a little bit overblown. I think he's
It's easier to be a running back for a Peyton Manning led team
right.
because
That's what I'm saying.
you can't throw 7 in the box, 9 in the box on him.
Right.
So
He's a guy that's going to flourish when Peyton Manning's
yeah,
kind of like all of them. Like I think Ronnie Hillman. I think when Ronnie Hillman comes back, I think he's going to overtake that job.
yeah.
People are forgetting about him. C.J. Anderson's had some really good games, but when I watched Ronnie Hillman carry the ball earlier this year, I saw some really good talent, potential in him. He's fast. He is really fast.
Just like why Joseph Adai was good in the Colts when he wasn't that great of a talent, but you can't throw 9 in the box, 7 in the box. You got to spread out. And you give him a chance. That's all you need. So, I mean, Denver's still a good team. I don't know if there's on.
They're not beating New England. They're not going. Peyton's not going to New England and beating Tom Brady.
But will he have to?
Yeah, he will. He's not going to happen.
If they both win out, they'll both be 13-3.
Yeah, and Patriots already beat
Patriots did beat them. You're right.
I'm
Okay.
going to look up the Patriots remaining schedule. I know the Patriots have Buffalo next week, and I mean Buffalo's a potentially tough team, but I think it's at Foxborough.
Yep.
Go ahead, start talking about the next game. I'm going to look up there.
All right. Very briefly, we're going long here. San Francisco at Seattle. Seattle won this game. Was closer than most people expected. It's my lock of the week. We'll debate that because I had it at 10 and a half, whatever it was. They lost by 10. Seattle won. This is actually, to be honest with you, a very boring game.
Yeah.
Boring, good game. Bad call, bad roughing the passer call, helmet to the chest, which I didn't think that was even possible. Not working. You hit him. You can't hit him in the head, can't hit him in the chest. But Seattle won. And not really much more to talk about as far as that game goes.
Right. So Denver, let's listen to the schedules for the last two. Denver has to go to Cincy and then they play Oakland at home. Patriots have to go to the Jets and play Buffalo at home. So the Broncos have a tougher schedule. Going to Cincy is a tougher game, but both teams should win out. And it looks like it's going to be New England's going to be the 1 seed.
Yeah, I agree with you. Lastly, looking into the game tonight, about to start here in about 10 minutes. Dallas going at Philly. Game that, as far as Philly goes, they win, they control their destiny in very strong fashion to win that division because they'll have both wins against Dallas with a game lead. So, in a sense, they have to go 2 games. The only way that Dallas could overtake them for the division is if the Eagles lost their last 2 games and Dallas won their last 2 games. So,
that's not true because they have the same record right now, and if Dallas wins, they'll be a game.
If the Eagles win, plus they beat them both games.
I thought you said if the Eagles. My bad. I wasn't really paying attention.
No, I know you weren't. I'm pretty good at that. But no, but if Dallas wins, different story because the Eagles will still have a chance because they have a tie game. So I like Eagles in this game. I think Mark Sanchez has a good game at home. They feed Shady a lot. I also think the Romo has a good game, so I think this could end up being a 31-28 game, something along those lines, shootout in the game. And it's December in the Mid-Atlantic, so it's not great conditions, but it looks like it's not really much wind, playing in the high 30s, so it looks like the weather won't be a factor in this game. What do you think?
I don't really know about this game. I don't really have a prediction. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy and watch. I know Romo won't play as bad as last time, but
Yeah.
Sanchez will probably have a good game. Shady, I don't see how Dallas can stop Shady.
Yep.
I don't know. It should be a good game.
All right. So that was around the NFL. Touch on every game. What'd you see out of the Terps this weekend? Played in South Carolina Upstate team. Played
Yeah,
them pretty close actually in
South
a match
Carolina
there.
Upstate's they're a sneaky good team actually. They're not bad. They're better than people think. They got a nice win. Terps did. Smot came back in the lineup, contributed a little bit. Mello had his first career double double. Lehman 17 points. It's just good to keep winning without their leader. Just learning how to play without their best player. Hopefully they got a week off before they got to go to Oklahoma State and play a big out of conference game.
Yep. I think Lehman had a good game. I mean, he started out horrible, 0 for 5. I think he was only 1 point in the first half, but 16 points second half. Came back hot, hitting the threes, which is going to be huge if the Terps want to make a move going into January into conference play. Tremble with the double double. They look like a good team. I mean, you look at a team like South Carolina Upstate, and you think if you're not going to beat them by 25, 30 points, it's a bad game. But you beat a decent team.
Let
It,
me. I'm sorry. Keep talking. Sorry. My
I'm
bad.
done. You go.
I'm going to say, let me look up South Carolina Upstate's. They've actually played some good teams this year. And I think they played them pretty close, if my memory is holding correctly. Let's see. I mean, they played UCF, lost by 7. UCF's not very good, but they just beat Georgia Tech. They just beat Georgia Tech 59-54. So I mean, they're not a bad team at all.
No.
So I mean, they played Memphis this week. I wouldn't be surprised if they beat Memphis. Memphis is absolutely terrible. I mean, it's a joke what Josh Pastner's doing down there, but um, yeah, it's just a good win. Good win.
It is. And they got a little break before going into Oklahoma State. Let Smotrich rest up a little bit. And he came back, but he knows he's not 100%. Give everyone a rest. Get Des Wells a week closer to being ready, hopefully, for Michigan State. So we'll talk more about them coming into Thursday, where we got the game coming up a couple days after that. So without further ado, let's recap our That's What He Said very quickly towards the tail end of this podcast. The 4 questions I asked, Brent went 2 for 2 on. We asked if the Rams and Cardinals game more offensive touchdowns and turnovers. He said no. The answer was no. So he was right on that. If Flacco 3 touchdowns, he said he would throw at least 3. He only threw 1. He was wrong on that. Manziel 75 yards rushing or 200 yards receiving. You said he would do 200 yards receiving or 200 yards passing. He did neither. None close. And the last one, double or 20 points in the Terps game. Trimble took care of that for him. Got
Yep.
the double. Nobody had 20 points, which we thought would be the one that clinched out of those two. So he went 2-2. I went 3-1. Le'Veon Bell over under 20 yards, 200 yards from scrimmage. I said under. He did go under. He went whatever 47 plus 72 is. It's under. Jets Titans game. This is the one I had wrong. 3.5 over under 3.5 interceptions. We talked about this earlier. The answer was 0. No
Zippy.
interceptions at all. Latavius Murray, over under 100 yards. I said under. He hit 59. The Navy game, over under 400 yards rushing. They averaged close to that a game. It was well under. It was 282. So overall, we went 3-1 and 2-2. So that looks like 5-3. We'll have our new ones on Sunday, I believe. Yeah, when we do our Sunday, or no, Thursday. I'm sorry, on Thursday when we look ahead to the week ahead. Locks of the week. Brent, you can take care of this.
I went 1-1. Buffalo wins outright. I gave you +5, and then I lost the Atlanta game. Matt Ryan threw a stupid pick 6. They suck. Never been on Matt Ryan. Evan went 1-1, 1-0-1. I mean, oh no, not 1-1, 1-0-1.
1-0-1 or 2-0, depending on what you want to say, but I'll give it 1-0-1 because
Yeah, look,
I took it at 10. So
it
I'll
took it
be
a
honest.
10, but the number right now was 10.5. He got it at 10, so looks like a draw. But I mean, either way, didn't lose. Good week for him. And then lastly, we'll recap our DraftKings. Shock of the century. I'm winning again. I'm up 138-96 with Matt Forte still left in the chamber. Evan has Shady, Jason Witten, and Jimmy Graham left. So it actually might end up being pretty close, but I'll probably win again, like usual.
Yep, I agree. Anything else you want to touch on? Anything we messed up on? What else? What else you want to talk about before we wrap this bad boy up?
Can't wait for the college football playoff. That's really it. it's kind of a dull weekend. Usually we have college football to talk about, and when
Yeah.
we'll get more once the Orioles get into swing and actually decide to make a move. NBA is going to start heating up soon. Same with college basketball. Then we'll get the bowl games for college football. I think on Thursday we'll have some lines for the college football, so I think we're going to kind of do a little something with that. We'll maybe predict like the best games, or we'll give our top five picks or something. We'll figure it out this week, but we're gonna do something with college football.
Yeah, maybe a maybe a bowl pool or something along those lines. So,
Sounds good to me.
for Brent Moreland, I'm Evan Machado. We had a slower Sunday, so to speak, but we made it interesting and a lot to talk about. We look forward to talking with you guys on Thursday evening. Have a good week.
Peace.